Okay, doing a video on the '07 Mercury Mariner Hybrid. I just wanted to go over some things that I've done to it. Still having little issues with the unit cooling down. Yesterday it was a hot day. I've added 3 probes now and a thermostat, Bluetooth Weber unit, so I can monitor my temperatures. And yesterday, let me explain how this thing works. So basically, the Weber's got the green, it'll handle 4 leads, but the green lead is fresh air intake before the filter. The yellow lead sensor is post AC cooling, and then the red lead is the center of the EV battery. So if you look at this, right now I'm sitting at 71 degrees on the EV battery. This is 64 on the post AC unit or recirculating system. So 2 things will happen. If the battery's running hot, the blend doors are hooked up. There's 2 blend doors. A lot of people don't realize that. So there's a double blend door system on here. It's actuated by 1 actuator, but it's tied in to 2 doors. Okay, so what's going on is that top door closes the fresh air intake. It shuts it down, and the bottom door closes the exhaust. So it's 2 doors doing this, okay? And when that's something, you know, like they're both moving at the same time, I don't know if they're exactly like that, but let me think about this for a minute. Yes, they are kind of set this way. So what happens, if the battery's running too cold, the top blend door will close, and the bottom blend door, I believe, it closes or opens, and it recirculates the warm air from the battery back through the battery to keep it warm. So those 2 doors move in unison, okay? So it's kind of neat. So this blend door is actually always moving around. It's always adjusting. The blend door is always adjusting to monitor, as its computer's monitoring temperature on the vehicle, to keep that temperature at a certain spot. So yesterday is a warm day, and I had my EV battery temperature go up over 100 degrees, and I was freaking out. I was like 108 degrees. I'm like, damn, I'm cooking the battery. And trying to figure it out, and then it would cool down. And I'm like, man, this isn't right. This is going too high. It's wound up being the blend door. So the blend door would work sometimes, and then it would work incorrectly at other times. So just giving people a heads up on that. So if you think your blend door, you'll look at the blend door. You can open this up, pop the filter, and check your blend door. It'll open and close. That doesn't mean that it's functioning properly. That means it's opening and closing, but that thing has to float around all the time, right, to keep this temperature even. So back up here, we'll go back here again, recap. 73 degrees on the EV battery, 64 after the AC unit coil, and fresh air intake is 61 degrees. So it's really cool. What I like about this Weber is I can monitor temperatures by Bluetooth. So when I hook up the Bluetooth, I can go ahead and monitor this and keep an eye on this, and with my phone. So it's really nice. Okay. So the way I did this is, if you look here above the battery, above the filter, I've got a probe here. Okay. And in the prior video, I showed where the other probes were. So I just installed this yesterday. So this one is going to be my fresh air intake. So that's before the EV filter, okay? And then the other probe, if you watch my prior video, is stuffed just before the air goes into the battery, right? And then there's one center of the battery. So This helps out a lot if you want to monitor your temperatures and see what's going on with everything. So just giving people a heads up. These things are kind of a tricky pain in the rear end to deal with, these hybrids, because of this issue. They had a problem with the blend door actuator failing numerous times. There's multiple revisions. If you get an actuator, replacement actuator, make sure it's the revision F as in Frank or final, right? And what else can I put in here? Oh, don't put anything heavy in the back of your vehicle, because if you put anything really, really heavy on the battery, okay, so let's say you load this up with a couple 100 pounds of gear, what's going to happen is you're going to press down on the cover of the battery, and that's going to put too much pressure on the cover, and the cover, if it's depressed, can interfere with the fans, because the fans, the EV cooling fans, actually are really, really, really tight. They're really, really tight against that top cover, the top rear cover. So I know it doesn't look like it when you look at the design, but I'm telling you from experience, you throw a couple 100 pounds on that battery cover, and you can depress the cooling fan cover itself onto the fan, and that can cause the fan to not work right. So it's a heads up for some people. Hopefully that might help somebody out. So if I have any more problems with that occurring, because that did occur with me, put a lot of weight in the back of the truck, and cooling fan, one on the left side cooling fan wasn't working right, and it's brand new. Got the weight off of there, and it worked fine. Put the weight back on, it didn't want to work, because now remember, I got sight holes back there now, so I can see what's going on with the cooling fan. You watch a prior video, you can see there I tell you how I installed the sight holes in the EV battery box, so cover. So anyway, hopefully this helps some people out. I'll post as I go along here, trying to work the bugs out of this thing, and hopefully these videos will help somebody. All right, over now.